Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching StoleYourLife playing in his Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer, the infamous Object 704. This was one of the first tank destroyers in the game at top tier before they released the Tier 10 tank destroyers, and it was an absolute monster. Pretty much no need to use APCR rounds on this tank. They've got 329mm of penetration, but the standard rounds have got 286, which allowed this vehicle to butter its way through the front of any tank in the game pretty much. And when you've got 750 damage from this BL-10, this monstrous, I think it's a 152mm gun, then you get to rip apart your opponents very quickly indeed, trade so effectively. And also, one of the best things about this tank is that it's got it's got no weak points on top of the vehicle, and 120mm of armor at the front that is well angled, and a mantlet that is basically like a black hole, absorbing pretty much anything that goes anywhere near it. Now, if you're wondering where I've been for the last couple of days, I wasn't streaming on Tuesday, but thankfully Pepperdy backed me up and put on a good show. I was in Cyprus. I was at the Wargaming headquarters there, talking about all things World of Tanks with some lovely people, including the Wargaming CEO, Victor Kisley. I was there with a few of the other contributors, had a really good time. More on that probably next week, where I'll be trying to let you guys know everything that we talked about, including some video interviews. I've got some audio recordings of other parts as well. Just an all discussion, because obviously 2016 marks a brand new year, and we're at an interesting period of World of Tanks. It's 5 years old now. Going to be coming up for 6 this year, if you include the fact that Russia managed to get the game 6 months before the EU server. And when a game is 5 years into its life cycle, it's always at a turning point. When you think about other massive MMOs, such as World of Warcraft as an example, that was where it was at its peak. So Wargaming are trying to develop all of these other projects, trying to keep World of Tanks chugging along as it is as well. So it was a very interesting day. But let's focus on StoleYourLife here, and he is trying to steal people's lives in this game. You don't have to hit people many times with this monstrous gun to be able to do so. Look at these shots. First one into the 5120, 727 damage, E75, 763, and then putting a nice shot into the side of the Tier 9 American heavy tank, the M103, doing 811. Did you see the angle that he managed to loop the shell into the WZ-111 on the enemy team there? Absolutely brutal. He's going to give it another go. Oh, he just pulled back in time. Good reactions there on the WZ-111. Usually people, when they fire, they hang around for just a second or two. One of my best tips for when you've got tanks with poor aim time and you're in these kind of situations is that when you see your opponent fire, you have to fire as well. Because it's very likely that they're going to pull back around the corner after they fire. Obviously, once they've delivered the shell, then they want to pull back into safety. So if you've got good reactions, then you can still have the opportunity to hit them before they pull back around the corner, while giving yourself the most possible aim time. Obviously, you wait until your reticule gets the smallest, where you're going to be the most accurate, to fire. But when you're not sure whether they're going to be able to pull back or not, you can use that as a tell, i.e. when the enemy fires at you. Oh gosh, the E75 puts in the first round into StoleYourLife's tank, which has actually absorbed a huge amount of damage. This is what I love about the Object 704. It just seems to take punishment with its armor. He has bounced or blocked 2,450 damage before the E75 put a round into him there. And that was a very lucky shot into the E75. They didn't expect that one to be going through. But a good hit anyway, an important kill into that vehicle. Now, StoleYourLife puts... Oh, that was the one that I was talking about being lucky. Oh my word, the BL-10 treating StoleYourLife very well here. I can't believe that one went into the tracks of the M103. That's such an important shot, because that allowed the artillery on StoleYourLife's team to finish him off. And now he gets to support this T-34 without the M103 killing the T-34, which allows him to put a shot into the side of the Tiger II and to distract the 111 for a little longer. And this is what that 286, to be exact, millimeters of penetration can do to the front of a Tiger II. Now the WZ-111 loads a heat round and then decides to try and put pressure on StoleYourLife here. I think he might have bit off just a little bit more than you can chew there, buddy, as the second round goes in. Doing 1,204 total damage to that Tier 8 Chinese premium heavy tank with 2 shells from StoleYourLife 704. So what a round just at the start of this game. 5 minutes in, 6,285 damage, 3 kills. And now it's not even close to being over. StoleYourLife has got a lot that he needs to do. Nearly half of the enemy team is still alive. Well, not quite. Nearly half now. As he shuts down the Tiger P. When you're shooting at Tier 7 tanks in this vehicle, it just doesn't feel fair. But I guess it's a little more fair than when, for example, the ISU-152, which gets pretty much the same kind of performing gun as this, shoots at Tier 6 tanks. The main difference with the 704 compared to the ISU is that this thing is resilient. It bounces so many more shells than the ISU-152, and it has the hit points that that tank could only dream of. Going up from Tier 8 tank destroyers to Tier 9 tank destroyers is such a huge leap. Whereas you're likely to have about 1,000 hit points at Tier 8, when you've got 1,600 at Tier 9, it really gives you the durability that you need to start to have absolutely ridiculous games like this. Now, of course, an ISU-152 might be able to have crazy games like this, but it's pretty much going to have to do so at mid to long ranges or get quite lucky with its trading. The Object 704 is one of my favorites because it just has that raw power with its hit points and the 120mm of armor that this vehicle gets to be able to bounce shots like that. Gosh, that enemy Object 704 must be happy about that, pretty much retaining half of his hit points because of that nice bounce. Oh, looks like that one might have gone in. StoleYourLife. Hopefully you damage the 704 there, because he is alone with 2 self-propelled guns against 5 enemy vehicles. It's going to be quite a tricky situation. But luckily, it looks like his artillery are very good players. Look at this. They've managed to get themselves into cover here rather than get killed in the base. And that means that they might be able to coordinate with StoleYourLife to be able to bring down the remnants of the enemy team. So the enemy artillery have been playing a good game as well. They've got 2 kills apiece, and it looks like StoleYourLife figured out that the SPGs might be looking to try and flank him. He's using a very interesting loadout on this vehicle as well. He's using 2 repair kits. I guess that's because there's nothing more frustrating than being double tracked in this tank. Or perhaps he was maybe using a fresh crew, but I doubt that, because when I checked afterwards, he has played a lot of games in this vehicle. Obviously, when you have no turret, being tracked is one of the easiest ways to be completely destroyed. You can lose the entirety of your tank against a Tier 7 medium, for example, in the Object 704. If he manages to track you twice and get your side. Fair enough, you might have pretty nice side armor and very nice frontal armor. But if they can get it flat on the side and be able to hit the tracks there, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. StoleYourLife is going to go and just have a little scout out to see what's coming around the corner. And oh, great decision. An auto aim at the artillery there, shutting him down. That's brilliant. That's a great tank to take out. There's no way he wants to leave that Tier 9 turreted French tank destroyer around while his team is getting flanked towards the south. The artillery are doing a good job of spotting and keeping them preoccupied. Unfortunately, the Su-14-2, aka that death bus, manages to get shut down by the enemy Object 704, and it doesn't look like StoleYourLife hit him earlier, as he has all of his hit points. Good job there by the artillery. Puts a round into the Object 704 and baits him round the corner. StoleYourLife puts a huge round into that tank, also setting him on fire as well. 981 total damage from that shot, including the fire, and that's a great result. That takes the confidence away from that Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer on the enemy team and blows the head clean off the T-34-3. Great result there. Not sure what the T-34-3 was thinking. Maybe he didn't have the gun elevation. Maybe he was thinking that the artillery was in a different place. Maybe he disconnected. Detective QuickyBaby can't quite figure it out. But here we go. Object 704 versus Object 704. Both tanks are one shot. The Object 704 pulls back round the corner, and great play by the artillery here, as it looks like he is about to sneak up behind and shut him down. That is an example of a good artillery player. doesn't get caught in base, and makes the difference at the end of the game, coordinating with his regular tanks. The Waffenträger auf Panzer IV puts a shell just over the head of StoleYourLife, and you can tell by the sound of that shell, and he avoids the artillery, that means that the WT auf Panzer IV is using that 128mm gun and not the 150mm gun. So that means that the WT auf Panzer IV is going to be able to fire faster than StoleYourLife. So he should be able to shoot him twice for every time that StoleYourLife shoots him. However, he misses, well, actually hits the artillery behind StoleYourLife, and he has to take advantage of this situation now. Look how fast the WT auf Panzer IV fires there. He puts a shot in and rams him for 240 damage. And it looks like he's jammed the turret of the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV as he pushes him backwards to stop him from being able to drive out from in front of him. And so that means that he manages to sneak in a reload. Absolutely ridiculous gameplay there. What a result. And the artillery, the GW Tiger Pig on the enemy team, doesn't manage to finish him off. What a play. StoleYourLife went all in there. It was a 50-50 while if that WT auf Panzer IV was going to be able to one-shot him. Luckily, he rolled just below his average. Oh my lord. Just absolutely incredible stuff there. Can't believe the turret. Obviously, the turret ring does get damaged quite a lot on that tank, especially when you're getting hit by 152mm shells. But for StoleYourLife to see that and then to push him back, to be able to squeeze in another reload before the WT could repair his turret was awesome stuff. But the game isn't over, or is it? Well, oh god, do it, do it! Yes, straight in. GW Tiger P taken out. 9 kills, 11,730 damage. Absolutely preposterous stuff in this Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer. StoleYourLife certainly lived up to the hype of his name in this replay and had an absolute flawless game in probably my favorite Tier 9 tank destroyer in World of Tanks. One thing I certainly wasn't sure of is the amount of APCR rounds that he took. I felt like that was completely unnecessary, considering that the difference between the AP and the APCR rounds in this tank is so marginal. And also, I have no idea why he doesn't take just a few high explosive rounds. With the 950 average damage and 90mm of penetration on these high explosive rounds, they can be very useful for engaging tanks such as the WT auf Panzer IV at the end of the game. And it would have certainly taken out the RNG on that last shot. He was only about a 55% chance of killing the German tank destroyer with his final shell, and boy, what of a heartbreak that would have been. Nevertheless, this was absolute stellar gameplay and demonstrates what kind of skills you have to have if you want to be successful in your high alpha damage, low mobility tanks. So let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So this was the second highest damage game of all time on the Replays website in a Tier 9 vehicle. Securing StoleYourLife, a Radley Walters medal for that 9th kill, the high caliber, and a steel wall. This was 2,261 base experience, 11,730 damage for his 9 kills, hitting 21 out of 23 and 18 of those penetrating. The Object 704 held up exceedingly well, blocking 2,300 with his armor, giving him a potential damage received of nearly 4,000 and still surviving the game. StoleYourLife wasn't running a premium account when this happened, but he still made a slight profit. If he had been running a premium account, he would have made 46,000 credits profit, and he would have made a hell of a lot more if he'd dropped some of those APCR rounds for either the AP rounds, or probably at least maybe 2, if not 3 high explosive rounds I think goes well in this vehicle. And if not just to do 950 damage to a Waffenträger, but also the high explosive rounds in this tank can be very helpful for finishing off pretty much any vehicle with 100 points or less by hitting it anywhere on the tank. Nevertheless, I can't take anything away from the flawless game that StoleYourLife played here, carrying his team and having one of the best games I've ever seen in a tank destroyer. And so StoleYourLife, thank you so much for uploading this on the Replay website. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys did as well. If you did, please consider giving this video a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see another monstrous Object 704 replay, then simply click through up here and you can go through to Turgy kicking some serious butt in this Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer. And let me know in the comments down below what you think the best Tier 9 tank destroyer is and why. And also, or Merry Christmas for all Orthodox Christians out there, as the 7th of January is Christmas Day for all of you, including Peppery's family, and that is 5. We still have the Christmas tree up, which is likely to be going down in the next few days. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.